What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to properly lubricate and maintain your airsoft gas blowback pistol. I've seen a lot of videos on the internet and on YouTube that show how to lubricate and maintain your gun. A lot of it's okay, but there's some parts that could be corrected, and that's what I'm going to do today in this video. Alright, so to properly maintain and clean your airsoft pistol, there's going to be quite a few things you'll need. First thing is isopropyl alcohol. That's going to be used to clean your inner barrel. Next is some variations of silicone oil. If you have light and heavy, that's good. If not, you can just use some spray. Next thing you'll need is some silicone grease. You don't necessarily need it. It's just something I do to lubricate the side rail contacts. I'll explain more about that later. And you'll need some Q-tips and cleaning wipes, as well as a rag and a screwdriver. Alright, so obviously there's a lot of different models of airsoft pistols, and there's different methods of cleaning them and taking apart and stuff like that. So today we're going to start out with the Glock. First thing you're going to want to do is take out the magazine, perform a safety check. This one has no magazine, this has no gas, no BBs in it, and the chamber is clear. Fire in a safe direction. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is take off the slide. For Glock, you just pull down this, rack the slide and pull down on these tabs here. What we're going to be doing now is cleaning the barrel. So a lot of people would just run it through when the whole gun is assembled, except I would rather do it when you have the barrel all by itself. Alright, set all of your recoil rods and outer barrels out of the way. Alright, now that you've gotten the hop-up unit in their barrel assembly, you can go ahead and take this apart. Alright, now that the screws are undone, go ahead and take off the shell of the hop-up unit, take off the hop-up arm, which is this piece right here, take out the inner barrel and separate the hop-up bucking. Alright, now that you have everything separated, go ahead and set everything except for the hop-up, or set everything except for the inner barrel aside. Now what you're going to do is take your isopropyl alcohol, pour some into the cap. You don't need much at all. In fact, I kind of overdid it here. Now what you're going to do is take your cleaning wipe, and what you're going to do, I'm not actually going to do it because I did this already before I made the video. Dip it in here and run it through your inner barrel like a few times. Take off the wet wipe, put in a dry one, and run it through a few times. Now the reason why we're using alcohol for this is because actually silicone oil will attract dirt and in fact make your barrel more dirty, especially if you don't do a second pass to dry it out. But isopropyl alcohol will actually dry out a lot faster than silicone oil, so that's another reason why it's not going to attract any dirt or anything like that. Alright, now that you've gotten your inner barrel all clean, go ahead and put your hop-up bucking back on. The way you do this is you find the groove, as you can see right there. Hopefully you can see on camera. Find the groove, line it up with the groove on the inner barrel, and just slide it on. And then twist it a little bit just to make sure it's secure, which it is. Now what we're going to do is there's a little tab on the bucking. You're going to put it into the window on the hop-up assembly. And put your hop-up arm back on. And there should be a slit on the wheel that the hop-up arm goes into. rotate the wheel just a little bit to make sure it's working properly, which mine is. As you can see, it's going up and down. And then just reassemble your hop-up assembly. Alright, now that your inner barrel is all squared away, you can go set it to the side. Alright, now that we've gotten the inner barrel all clean, we can go ahead and move to the frame. The first thing you're going to want to do is just wipe it down. And then we're going to use some Q-tips to get into the side contacts. Make sure you didn't leave any residue from the rag. Next, what you're going to want to do is just take a Q-tip, wipe down the side contacts. Mine isn't too dirty because, like I said before, I already did this. Alright, now that your side contacts are all clean, we can go ahead and move to the hammer assembly. What you're going to do here is take a light. If you have light silicone oil, that's going to be preferred, but what you're going to want to do is undo the cap, obviously, and we're going to apply a thin film of silicone oil to the hammer. That was kind of a little bit too much, but if you work it in there and spread it around, it creates a thin film, and that's what we want. Alright, as you can see, we have a thin film of silicone oil on the hammer. Next, we're going to be lubricating the side contacts. There's a little bit of controversy of how you're supposed to do this, but for me, I use silicone grease. I find that to work better than just silicone oil, because silicone oil will dry up very fast and evaporate, so I use silicone grease. But if you don't have grease, go ahead and use some heavy silicone oil. Now what you're going to want to do is undo the cap. Take your screwdriver and switch it to a flathead bit. Squeeze a little out and take some off with the screwdriver. And we're just going to apply this to the side contacts. You don't need too much because this is going to stay on for a lot longer than normal silicone oil. Alright, now that you have the frame all lubricated, go ahead and put your slide and frame back together. There you go, your pistol is all done. Now what we're going to be doing is lubricating the magazine. What you're going to need here is some light silicone oil. Undo the cap. Just pour just a little bit on top of the output valve or blow-off valve. and you're going to just push the valve a little bit so you can work it in there. What that's going to do is it's going to work the oil into the O-ring, which is on the inside of this. Next, what you're going to want to do is take off the base plate if you have one. You can do the same thing for the inlet valve. And this is going to do the same thing, which is preserve the O-ring on the inside. Just let that sit for a little bit. Should soak in there. Alright, so now your pistol is all done. I recommend lubricating and cleaning your gun after every game, either that or after every 5,000 rounds. This process works best for me because when I use propane, I don't put it in the propane adapter just because that tends to get silicone oil like everywhere in the gun, which is what you don't want. So I prefer to do it manually. So yeah, if you have any questions about it, feel free to ask, and always thanks for watching.